Bitcoin hit a new all-time high yesterday, but one big whale is a ticking time bomb for price, so we need to ride this pump as much as we can before he explodes. Plus, these altcoins are starting to take off, and we want to catch them before they do. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz AO, and as always, not financial advice, and wish the best of luck in your crypto ventures. All right, good morning, you guys, and happy new all-time highs, which also correlates with Bitcoin Pizza Day. Today's the day that someone paid 10,000 Bitcoin for a couple pizzas years ago, which is worth over, billions of dollars at this point. So we have a new Bitcoin all-time high in correlation with Bitcoin Pizza Day. Now, it wasn't easy to get to all-time highs yesterday. If you remember, I was talking about anytime we get close to new all-time highs, there's a huge sell-off of traders going long and then getting their positions closed as we dump a lot. That exactly happened yesterday. So yesterday we went up to around 100 and just about the tip of the previous all-time high yesterday. We went to around 109.4. We then sold off back to this level, which is actually a level reclaim. So we came down to 106. So just about a $4,000 drop in a couple of hours, only to then come back up. And overnight we went to just around $112,000, now sitting at about 111 at the time of writing. So yeah, it's been a very volatile day, and we're actually going to get to why this could be even more volatile because of a big whale in just a moment. But overall, Bitcoin looks very good. We did have this small retest on the 4-hour yesterday, but I wouldn't be too surprised if at some point maybe we continued 114. But if we came back and did a proper retest of $106,000, maybe 107, something like that, I could totally see, because I don't think this will just keep going up in a straight line forever. So if at some point we do come back and have a retest around here, totally fine, because a retest of previous all-time highs is to be expected, and it's totally natural and should happen. So if you get any buys around here, it's probably a pretty good area to pick up some altcoins if we do come back down to 106,000 anytime soon. But overall, Bitcoin, it looks good. It looks like it wants to keep going up higher today, and it probably will on New York Open. Then moving on, we have Bitcoin has just surpassed the Taiwan dollar to become the 8th largest currency in the world. What a time to be alive. So we can see here Bitcoin just surpassed Taiwan. Next is the Hong Kong dollar and then the Korean won. And then for the Bitcoin whale, which could be a ticking time bomb. So we have Farhad here on LinkedIn who posted this, and I saw this on Twitter somewhere as well, but it's a little bit easier to read here. So Farhad said, some call him the luckiest degenerate alive, others a ticking time bomb. This is the story of James May, the man who opened an $836 million long to nuke the market. It went over a $1.1 billion yesterday, so it was even larger than this, and I'll add some context in a second. So who is James May, and what's intriguing about his long position? I mean, besides the fact that it's almost $1 billion. So here's what we know. A trader going by James Wynn has opened an $836 million long on Bitcoin, currently has $21 million in unrealized profit. So who is this guy? Apparently, if you trace him back, he has a wallet originally linked to Alameda Research in 2022, likely OTC origin. He discovered Pepe early, possibly a team member, made $18 million on a low cap entry. He bought 1.3 million Trump tokens at $8 plus right before the dinner with holders announcement, and he printed about $8 to $10 million. He longed $30 million of Pepe day before it pumped 40 to 50% and netted $25 million as a result. Currently, he owns 22.7% of Bitcoin's open interest on Hyperliquid. So out of all open interest on Hyperliquid, he's 22%, which is actually, it's higher than that right now. So $830 million out of $3.6 billion in open interest. His unrealized P&L is at $21 million with a negative $1.32 million paid in funding. His liquidation price is at $100,000. So what's at stake? If Bitcoin drops just 5% from current levels, the entire position is going to Valhalla. According to Hyperliquid's order book data, a market sell of 7,700 Bitcoin could trigger 3 to 8% slippage, setting a stage for a liquidation cascade. Here's what that might look like. So market makers pull bids or reposition below $100,000. Buyers sub $100,000 hedge by dumping spot Bitcoin on Binance, OKX, Bybit, or Coinbase, creating a reflexive downward pressure across the board. Meanwhile, Hyperliquid's internal risk pool, or HLP, might try to soften the blow, but it's not bottomless. After 3 recent economic attacks, the founder Jeff clarified, the vault will only take on limited risk, the market must resolve the rest itself, which means partial forced selling through the market itself, auto deleveraging kicks in, profits to be compensated by shorts in the counter trades, according to a socialized loss model. So open shorts already at the gates, $151 million shorted at 103,000, 141 at 105, 101 million at 106, and 89 million at 107, and more. So Win is betting on Bitcoin's price to go to parabolic levels. The market is about to print another legend, and if he's wrong, he's too close to the sun and drag others with him to cover the blast radius. The pattern is nothing short of reoccurring with a 3AC meltdown, Alameda and FTX, BitMEX liquidation in 2020, Celsius and BlockFi. Now, I will say there's a little bit more complexity to it. I've heard many different stories. I've heard that maybe it's a group of just multiple market makers. It's not one single person. I've heard that he also has hedged exposure on a centralized exchange, most likely. He's not just long this amount of money, but also at the same time, he was originally long at $103,000 with about $400 million of open interest. And then as we went up, he started to slowly expand and it went up to 800 million. And then at one point, when the Bitcoin price was like $106,000, he sold a lot of it. He sold like 400 or 500 million. And then he bought back higher as Bitcoin went higher. So as Bitcoin went to like 108,000, he bought back in. He went to $1.1 billion in open interest. And then obviously we shot up towards, 100 and 112. So at one point he was down $15 million. And then, a couple hours later, we came back and he was up $21 million. And so the risk here is that if people want to take him out, because it's a very public position on Hyperliquid. That's the one thing about Hyperliquid that's a little bit tricky, is that the positions are obviously very public. And if you're the biggest, whale on the, platform, people are going to try and take you out because they want to get that money as liquidity. Now, the downside is that he's probably hedged somewhere else, so it's not that big of a deal, but he has also closed the position before. So I don't know if it's going to be as big of a systemic risk as they're saying, because he seems to close and open a couple $100,000 at a time here and there, depending on how the price moves. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a systemic risk as they're saying, but it could be a possible risk where maybe he closes his position and we head back down here to 106,000, or maybe we take out some of these stops down here below 100,000. That's the thing. We could still go down toward these levels, take out all these wicks, and then even continue higher. So that's just one thing to watch for in the coming days. We could still have a sell-off before ultimately resolving higher, and it actually would be healthy because there has been a huge amount of open interest that has opened over the past couple of days. And so if all these late longs can get flushed out, then we can go a lot higher, a lot quicker, probably towards $120,000 very soon. And then moving on, we have Eric Balchunas saying Volatility Shares is launching the first ever XRP futures ETF tomorrow. Yes, there is a 2x XRP already on the market. This is the first 1x, and it has $120 million assets under management and trades $35 million per day. A good signal that there will be demand for this one. And then we also have Ali Chart saying whales have sold over 60 million XRP in the last 72 hours. So this is kind of what I was saying. Whales usually, this is kind of a sell the news event where when a futures contract gets listed, whether it's on Binance, whether it's on Bybit, whether it's on the CME, which this one was, when a futures contract gets listed, whales usually sell the news because now, big institutions can then also short it. And so XRP overall still looks pretty good today. And actually, because of Bitcoin, it looks like it wants to go up. We expected it maybe would come down here towards this bottom of this range. And if Bitcoin does sell off, it probably could. But whales are hedging and they're selling off because in the fact that this was just a futures ETF. If it was a spot ETF, they'd be buying like crazy because the price would most likely go up. So overall, XRP looks pretty good from here. It looks like it wants to continue higher. I'd look to position above 260 if we were to reclaim this level. But likewise, if we came down here and then reclaim this level around $2.05, that's another great position for XRP as well. We're kind of sitting here in the middle, so nothing to do just yet as we're just kind of waiting for price resolve one way or the other. Hey Americans, we found an exchange that gives you the best of both worlds. Canadians too. Want to trade spot markets on over 400 trading pairs and without KYC? You can. Want to trade perpetual markets on over 150 trading pairs with KYC that accepts Americans and Canadians too? You can. The only exchange we've seen in the market that lets you do both simple spot trading without KYC and perps trading with KYC that Americans can use is BYDFi. And now they have some great new updates that make it better and easier to use than ever before. We recently talked about BYDFi's new MoonX product. MoonX is like having a superpower in both hands. On your left, you've got your classic centralized exchange, such as your favorite trading app with all the coins and smooth experience you expect from BYDFi. But then on the right, that's MoonX, their brand new DEX that's loaded with something like 500,000 meme coins. They're covering all the bases here. It's both the coins you want combined with a degen experience BYDFi knows some of you are looking for. On the MoonX side of things, you can track new token launches in real time, plus you get access to coins as soon as they launch. And now with your MoonX address, you can get one-click withdrawals. Plus for the next few days, you can take part in the trading carnival on BYDFi. You can share in 100 SOL or get part of a $20,000 airdrop of USDT just for trying MoonX. And our last big update for now is the new futures trading grid. It's now available on your PC when you log in with your browser. You get access to automated trading strategies, copy trading, and more. With your BYDFi account, you have access to all these great services seamlessly. Just one click takes you from the BYDFi centralized exchange to the MoonX decentralized exchange and back again. So try MoonX and BYDFi today. You get all the coins you want to trade, both in the very short term and long term. You can also get some extra bonuses today using the link down below. And then moving on to one that we haven't talked about in a while, it's the Sei network. So Sei network says the world's fastest EVM blockchain, the first multi-purpose EVM layer 1. 5 giga gas per second, or 200,000 transactions per second, 50x faster than the fastest EVM chain, Sei V2. Sei Giga is the EVM reimagined from the ground up, built for a future of endless possibilities. And so we have Shiro saying Sei Giga is the most ambitious layer 1 upgrade I've seen. New consensus, new execution, new storage, the fastest chain. Why should we care about speed? Every app you can think of, fully on the blockchain, decentralized. Think about fully on-chain gaming. We also have Ryozuki saying Sei is going to flip Solana this year. Not quite sure about that, but currently Sei's crypto mindshare is 3.5% and 50 basis point growth per day, according to Kaido AI. Don't fade the fastest chain. So Sei is gaining mindshare again, which is good, but I'm not sure if it's going to fully flip Solana. It's a big ask. We also have Maddie saying daily contract deployment is going parabolic on Sei network. Yesterday, over 12,000 contracts were deployed on Sei, which is an all-time high for the past 30 days. Development activity is heating up on Sei. It seems the dev community embraced the proposal that Sei is going to turn into an EVM-only chain, and they're aggressively building. The growth of infrastructure is noticed in all the network metrics. Compared to other EVMs, Sei is going to onboard Web2 apps on-chain. It's Sei season. So Sei is actually looking pretty good, and this is kind of one of those cases where the coin tends to look good before the news comes out. So a lot of times, the price will show you potential news coming out because maybe there's insiders buying the coin or something like that. So I actually longed Sei a couple days ago before I knew any of this, just because the price looked good. And so we can see here, this is the typical, reaction I look for, where we have resistance, we flip into support, we come up, we retest a level, and then we come back up. So I actually longed this a couple days ago, and it's doing pretty well. And I'm looking to get to this next level around 33-ish cents, this next major level of resistance. And then eventually, if we flip this, we can look for another trade afterwards. But overall, I think Sei looks pretty good. We've reclaimed this level on the daily time frame, in accordance with Bitcoin going up as well. I'm sure once Bitcoin maybe goes sideways or slows down, and then altcoins can catch up, we'll probably pump on Sei, we'll pump on a bunch of other altcoins. But overall, Sei is looking good. And I think, while I don't think it's going to surpass Solana, I definitely think it'll have its time as well. And Sei tends to come and go through different hype cycles. So I think Sei will come back at least to this level here around 33 cents, which is about a 47-ish% gain from where it started earlier. So overall, Sei is looking pretty good. Then we have Avalanche saying, just announced, VanEck US is launching Purpose-Built, a dedicated fund to back real-world applications on Avalanche. This is a major signal of institutional conviction in Avalanche and the broader move to bring GDP on-chain. We also have Bam Bam saying Avax quietly becoming one of the strongest tokenomic plays in the game. Over 4.5 million Avax has already been burnt from just fees and validator count, sitting at all-time highs. But here's where it gets interesting. Even without accounting for the future burn acceleration, the current pace already hints at 2 to 3% annual deflation. Now layer in the growth of subnets like BeamSwap, each launching with their own validators. It's not crazy to think that Avalanche might go fully deflationary later this year. And then we have Nansen saying top 5 chains by 7-day growth and percent change in transactions. And we have Avalanche at number 1 with 168% change. Now Avalanche is another one that's looking pretty good. I mean, all these coins, they pretty much look the same. Sei looks like Avalanche, looks like a lot of these coins. So we've reclaimed this level. Avalanche is actually a little bit further in its progress than Sei is. So it's reclaimed this level of support. We're already on our way to this next level of resistance. Once we flip this level of resistance into support, that's probably another pretty good trade just from there, because Avalanche, is starting to look pretty good. So if we can come back up here, another great trade from this level to this level, where we look something like this for Avalanche once we reclaim this level. So overall, Avalanche and everything's starting to look good. I mean, as Bitcoin goes up, everything starts to look good again. We don't want to reject from this level, so we want to watch when we come to $26.78. We want to fully break above this level and then hold it, and then you can probably enter a long somewhere like this. But overall, Avalanche is looking pretty good as well, and it's probably on its way towards $35 in the near future as well, especially if Bitcoin's going to $115,000 or $120,000 soon. Then lastly for today, we have why Bubblemaps expansion to BNB chain could change on-chain investigations. So this is from HackerNoon. So they said, can visualizing wallet behavior make DeFi safer? Bubblemaps thinks it can. Decentralized finance thrives on openness, yet visibility does not always mean clarity. While blockchains are public, interpreting wallet behavior, token flows, and market manipulation remains difficult for most users. Bubblemaps believes visualization can bridge this gap. Bubblemaps launched V2 support for BNB Chain, enabling users to analyze wallet clusters, token behavior, and ecosystem trends through interactive visual maps. This makes the BNB Chain the sixth network added to Bubblemaps' analytics suite, joining Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Arbitrum, and Polygon. Bubblemaps isn't a traditional charting or price tracking tool. Instead, it visualizes wallet relationships and token distributions as dynamic bubbles connected by shared behavior or ownership pattern. These can reveal hidden activity that might otherwise go unnoticed. For example, if 10 wallets that appear unrelated all receive tokens from the same source at the same time, Bubblemaps might display them as a cluster. This can raise red flags about potential wash trading, insider distributions, or manipulation. The new tools that launched with V2 on BNB Chain include the Magic Nodes, which automatically reveals cluster of wallets that are linked by suspicious or non-obvious behavior, and Time Travel, which allows users to scroll back and forth through a token's history to observe how its distribution evolved over time. These tools support a wide range of investigations, whether it's tracking wallet coordination, exposing insider token movements, or identifying whale activity during meme coin pumps. Users get a visual layer that transforms raw on-chain data into something actionable. So that is Bubblemaps V2, which is now on BNB Chain as well. So overall, Bitcoin looking good today. We're breaking new all-time highs, sitting just above $111,000. I do expect at some point we'll get a pullback, but it looks like we probably want to go towards 113, 114 before we get any kind of meaningful pullback. But I do think we'll probably have a big sell-off, especially with this big whale in the market. He'll probably sell at some point because every time, every $1,000 we go up, he's up like another $5 million. So at some point, I do think there will be a sell-off once this whale, takes profits as well, and shorts continue to get squeezed. I think we'll have a big sell-off at some point, and then that's probably the dip you're looking for to get involved. It'll be something like this, coming up to 115, maybe sell off to 109, 107, something like that, and then you want to get involved for any future buys. But also, hopefully, Bitcoin will go sideways, and altcoins will really start to take off, and we'll start to see big pumps across the board. So that's the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.